What's everybody? Today I'm going to tell you all the best modifications you can do to your Talion to make it the strongest possible truck it can be. I have a list here on this very outdated iPad that I will tell you everything that is on my truck and some things that you can do to yours that I don't even have on mine just because I haven't found the need to get them yet. So we're going to start from front to back of the truck and just go over everything that you can put on it and everything that I have put on it. So from the outside it's literally all stock except these little washers, but on the inside is where the party begins. So up front I only have a few things. I have this GPM lower hinge pin brace, and it also comes in a pack with this one too. I just haven't put it on because I haven't really figured out how to get the stock one out of there and get the new one on. I'm lazy. You'll probably hear me mention M2C a lot in this video, and that's because they're extremely good and I have a lot of their stuff on my truck. So starting off with these are the M2C shock tower standoffs, and they come in a 2-pack or a 4-pack. I got the 4-pack because I knew I would replace them eventually. I just haven't done it in the back yet because they haven't broken. This one broke when I landed upside down on a jump, hence why the shock cap is destroyed. And this one broke when I was literally just tightening the old one up. It just snapped because it's crap. The only upgrade I have left up here is this RPM A-arm because it broke when I landed upside down from a giant double backflip. I also just got the entire RPM A-arm kit. There's one back there too for when they all break, because they will eventually all break. So M2C is a great company. They make these chassis braces, and these are the first thing that I got and installed on my Talion day 2 of running it because I knew they would save it. And they very, very much did. So this M2C front brace and this M2C rear brace very, very much help the straightness of the chassis. It's about a year old now and it's still pretty straight. The servo I have is a PowerHobby 400mg servo because the stock servo, well, out of the box it's pretty good, but after you put it through some stuff, it really just craps out and just dies. It's not very good. My ESC is stock, but my motor is not stock. It's a HobbyStar 4076 1700 kV. Even though I kind of messed up on the kV, I probably should have gone a little bit higher. You can actually go 2000 kV with this motor, and that's what I should have done. But the pinion is pretty big. It's a 17-tooth Arrma Safe D pinion, and it's pretty good actually. It's never come off, never even round the grub screw loose, and it's really, really good. The motor does come with 6.5mm bullet connectors, so if you're gonna run stock ESC on 6S, you're gonna have to change those over on the ESC to 6.5mm bullet connectors as well. The battery I'm running is a Spectrum 6S 100C 3200 milliamp hour. The battery I would most recommend is the PowerHobby 6S 100C 5000 milliamp hour battery. It's really good. I mean, I've had PowerHobby and they are extremely amazing. They charge fast, they last really, really long in terms of runtime and battery life overall, and they're just amazing. PowerHobby is very, very good. For the center diff here, it comes stock with 100K weight fluid in it, and all I did was bump that up to 200K, and it really, really works perfectly now. You don't want too much stress on your rear diff because that's where most of the power is being applied because there's more grip in the rear, so it will balloon the front tires a little tiny bit with the 200K in there, but nowhere near as much as it does with the 100K. And I see a bunch of people put 500K in there, but at that point, why not just buy a locker, because that's extreme. On the rear, I have this GPM shock tower brace stabilizer. You might not notice a performance difference, but it has definitely contributed to the saving of this chassis because it stiffens up the brace. I haven't done anything in the front because it's actually pretty strong for some reason, but GPM also makes a brace up here too, which covers this entire piece right here and here. And the rear here, I have these lower suspension hinge pin mounts, and they seem to do a really good job. They have little cushioning plastic ball things in them. They do a really good job. There's one on the rear and one on the front of the diff case too. For the hubs, just don't go metal. I don't know if RPM makes any, but if they do, I would go RPM. If RPM doesn't, just get these stock ones because these have lasted over a year and they've never ever broken. On the bottom, you may notice the chassis is very, very scraped up, but that doesn't matter. That's just basically just cosmetic stuff. I have these hot racing skid plates, which are okay. They're not the best, but they do I guess, what they're supposed to do. Kind of. Chassis wise, you're gonna have to replace it eventually, and for that I'd recommend an M2C Talion chassis. The M2C Talion chassis is T6 7075 aluminum, 4mm thick versus this 3mm thick. This isn't even like 7075 or anything. I have no idea what this is, to be honest. If you get the M2C chassis, you can also get the M2C skid plates, which are a billion times thicker than these and much better, even though the rear one's held up pretty well. The front one, that's crap. Two things I forgot to mention on the rear is the shock rod end and these on the wing I've put here. So the shock rod ends break pretty easily, to be honest, and what I've found here is I just use this Traxxas part, 1942, a rod end set, and they work perfectly. There's tons of rod ends in there, and I think it's actually probably stronger than stock. They're just really good for some reason. And this, my wing pulled out the other day, so I just got a bunch of like little washer kind of things and put them on there, so hopefully they won't pull out again. M2C does make shock towers, and I've seen a lot of people bend theirs, and that's been a complaint forever now for some reason. I don't know why. Mine have always been fine. I just put my shock mounts in the lower hole and I just bash. I mean, they've never bent. They are perfectly straight. But if they do ever bend, I'll get M2C for that too, because those are super beefy. There are also some other motor options that you could go with. This is a 4072 1700 kV, as I said. You can go with a 4092, which is 16mm longer, and that's a really good motor. I have one. It's massive, but you'll have to go 1730 kV to keep up with the 6S, because any lower kV will make it very slow. With a 4082, you want to get 2000 kV, and these are all HobbyStar, by the way, because I think HobbyStar is really good. Also for the motor, even though a lot of the motors that are this big come with little heatsink fins kind of things on them, you're probably just going to want to get a heatsink with fins on it, just for extra cooling. And just like the ESC has a fan, you can also put a fan on there too, just for a lot of cooling. It'll keep your temps lower, better for the motor, better for the car. Just some miscellaneous parts that you want to get, because they will, either you'll lose them or they'll break or something. I've lost 2 wheel nuts, so get wheel nuts. Get these button head screws. You want diff gears, because those might blow out and you might just want to have them. When I was replacing this, I tightened it down too hard or something, and one of the gears just snapped inside. It was very odd. So you might as well get the diff gears before your diff breaks, so you can just replace it and keep playing. On the body, these body retainers sometimes break, sometimes pull out, but if they break, you'll have to get new body clip retainers. These shock pin things, they sometimes fall out. I've lost like 1 or 2 or something, I don't know. For the diffs, you'll want to get some shims. They only include like 1 shim out of the box, and I'm pretty sure you can shove 2 in there and get it even tighter mesh and make it a lot better. This iPad just overheated. Arrma also sells a ball cup kit that literally replaces basically every single ball cup on the truck for like $9. It also includes a bumper too. It's a really good deal. You should probably get that too. If you're gonna have a lot of power in your car, you're gonna need the Exp Rear Differential. I had to get this because I went 8S for a little while, and it totally destroyed the rear diff. So you definitely need Exp Rear Diff if you're gonna have a low kV motor with tons of torque, grippy tires, or anything else with loads of power, because it will strip. And trust me, you never want to hear the sound of a stripping diff. I think you get my point on all these upgrades, you know? Well guys, tell me what you think about all those upgrades, and if there's any more that you would add and that I forgot. Right now, I think this truck is pretty much bulletproof, to be honest. I mean, I haven't had to upgrade it in a while. I haven't really had to buy anything new for it. Everybody always gives Arrma crap for their metal chassis, but this one's actually pretty good. So guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.